Knowing what you want in life is one thing, but you could actually be pushing away the very thing you're trying to attract with this one thing I'm about to show you. Oh, and timestamps below for points of interest. In this week's episode of Fearless Over 40, a friend of mine asked me about manifestations, and she said that watching how-to videos online seemed really overwhelming. I asked her to clarify, and she mentioned that there seems to be so many ways to attract our wants, dreams, and desires, but she was getting really confused because nothing was working for her. I said, give me an example. And she said, well, I visualized getting a job, a specific job, and I followed all the rules of the law of attraction. I visualized me being in it. I did all the right things, but I didn't get the job. She went on to say, I understand that you have to see what you want in your mind's eye. You have to believe that that thing is already existing. You have to act as if you're already doing that thing, accepting that check, buying that house, etc. But what wasn't making sense to her, she said, I know what I want, but a question keeps resurfacing. I said, oh? When do I know I got what I asked for? Her second question was, how specific should I be in asking? Oh, and she had a third question. Do I stop asking for things once I got all the things I've asked for? I said, slow down. I can't hear you through all those noisy doubts you've been having, but you did have a valid point of reference. There's also a part of her questions that made even me say, oh yeah, especially when she asked about being specific. I mean, imagine asking for your dreams to manifest and not getting them, but you get something much, much better. Is it possible? I'm not so convinced that you get what you ask for, especially around the phrase, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. What does that even mean? My friend gave me even more context. She said, suppose I ask for a certain amount of money and I get it. Should I have asked for more just to be on the safe side? How much is too much to ask for? And then there's a question of appearing selfish. Should we be asking for more love and world peace rather than satisfying and fulfilling our personal needs? Wow, so many questions. But rather than answer my friend's questions, it inspired me to do a video and an illustration about how to aim for what you want in life and hit every single time, with one exception and a disclaimer. Today I'm drawing a picture of an elf in a forest aiming at whatever he's aiming at. I thought this was a great way to answer what my friend was asking, because in essence, how you aim at something depends largely on how you point and shoot at said thing, known as focus. Because no matter how good a shot you are, if you miss that thing, do you put it down to chance or just bad luck? Or does it really matter as long as you aim with good intention? Let's find out. This subject is really fascinating to me because I've been studying the law of attraction long before it was a thing, a movement, or thought of as a secret. I'm really fascinated by the wonders and powers of the mind. And when it comes to being successful as an outcome, it seems to get really cloudy for many people, especially over 40, because I hear all the time that people's life didn't pan out the way they wanted it to. I mean, that's true for a lot of people, right? The notion of positive thinking, meditation, attraction, and doing affirmations, etc., requires a lot of work on our part. Remember my friend and her questions? Well, she wanted immediate answers because that's the kind of person she is, wanting answers now. And really, the best answers would be, it all depends. Because for whatever reason, what you asked for hasn't arrived yet, or doesn't arrive at all, comes down to faith and how to be okay with whatever the outcome is. I know it's hard to believe or hard to accept, but the truth is, you don't get what you want. You get what you need at the time. And that comes in all shapes and sizes, even in the form of disappointment. Of course, there are people who have written down their intentions and seen it manifest exactly how they said it would. However, there are a great deal of people who have the right intention, but nothing seems to manifest for them. Let's not put them in a box, and simply say that they entertain negative energy, which is why said thing didn't materialize. Oh, no. What must be recognized, and I mean truly understood, is how the universe works. A great many of us have had to go through unsavory, traumatic events before wonderful things happen in our favor. My losing my sight in my left eye showed me how to see better, and I'm a better illustrator because of having limited vision. I mean, that doesn't even make much sense, really. But I trusted in the process. Our lifetime is full of contradictions, like the saying of bad things happen to good people, etc. It doesn't always mean that because you want something, that you will get it in the way that you want it. How many times have you lost a job only to find out that a better position was being lined up for you? That's where universal law is ironic, in that you might be hurt when you lose something, but that something could trade places for your benefit, especially for your greater good. I'm not avoiding my friend's questions because there are so many variables to wanting something, anything that you want, just because you want it. I've spoken to a ton of people that collect all the right crystals and say all the right things, only to receive the absolute opposite of what they actually asked for. I have been in conversations with spiritual gurus that say the more spiritual you are as a person, the more positive you are as a person in this world, the more pain you'll actually experience. So answering my friend's question is not a one and done answer and has everything to do with setting intention or tuning into that frequency. Do you mean like setting the channels on a TV, for example? Exactly, monkey. Yay, I'm getting it. You can ask for what you want in life and then lose it again, right? But that has nothing to do with your understanding of saying the right affirmations, etc. Because when you are tuned to the right frequencies of being prosperous and your higher self, you will experience spiritual maturity, because that's the real goal here. Personal gain, as my friend also asked about, is not solely asking about wanting a bigger house or a better car or more finances, but to attune to just being better. Oh, that's right. There's mention of that in the Bible where it says, "What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" There's nothing wrong in the idea of wishing for something to make you feel better. And yes, entertain it as if it's already happened, or very true, it's fine. However, there is a price to pay for those things too. Nothing harsh, it just means that having no part doubt will align you with better outcomes because of certainty. Although, finding your worth and purpose on earth has more value than wishing for the spoils of this world. I love this subject on manifestation and the laws of attraction because there's more than one law or way to do it. I eventually answered my friend's questions, but it was later in the day, and I wanted to make sure that she wasn't even more confused than she had originally been. I said, knowing what you want is fine, but you must also know what you don't want. Now there's a question. I continued by saying, understand this. When you place an order to be delivered for something, you only ask once, right? She said, yes, and then you wait for it to be delivered, right? She said, yes. Well, that's the same with affirmations. If you keep asking for the same thing, you'll actually push away the very thing that you want and desire because you keep asking. You're in a state of want. Sometimes you'll get a great experience and service when we place an order for something, and sometimes not. It's all dependent on how you receive, right? Because it's what you do next that really matters. Do you complain or do you take action? Yeah, you could place your order again, but it's about seeking the resolution of these things. Just like our character here, because it really doesn't matter what he's aiming at, only that he takes action to align with his intention. I think our character is done. How to aim for what you want over 40 with the elf and his catapult. He could be trying to harm something or help it, but it depends on his approach and intention, right? We should learn to tune into things that serve our highest intention, and then we will see and receive much more than just one personal thing that we ask for, like finally realizing your path and purpose in life to feel significant. I aim for that and I hit. And so can you. And if you want to know how to ask for that type of creative freedom, then consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. Wow. Ask and you shall receive. That's not always true. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting, but don't get stuck on want, or you'll find yourself in a vicious cycle, and that's not productive for you to grow. And growing is the real aim of the fearless. So if you want to overcome your creative struggles, then let's turn this inspiration into a conversation so you can have more time to align with a life that you designed. The link is in the description below, but before you go, can I suggest that you watch this video next? It's about the lesson and the blessings of how to grow so you can continue being fearless over 40. See you in the next one.